Alright guys, been a bit since I did one of these, so I actually did a little bit of preparation ahead of time. As you can see, tonight I will be trying the beer that I've been talking about I want to try, which is crazy. This is a Belgian pale ale style beer, which typically isn't my thing. The reason I was saying I did preparation, I opened it a little bit because I have my dogfish head glass here. Move this thing out of the way. Alright, and as you can see, when I filled this thing up, you know, you have a nice off-white, really pretty white actually, head on this. But when I filled this up, this glass was filled from brim to bottom almost with just head. Now there was beer in there. I read online that this beer pours this way, so I was real gentle with it, and I'm going to do this again, and you'll probably see a similar effect. This, yeah, look at that. Nice creamy, but we're going to go ahead and let that die down a little bit. I've been really wanting to try this beer because I heard a lot about it on, like, there was a couple articles last year, best beers of the year, and even though it's not really my style, I thought I would give it a shot. I can tell you even from here that I'm picking up malt characteristic to it, but more than that, it's fruity, which is kind of the thing I don't like about Belgians. It's not, I mean, there's clearly not fruit in this beer, but it's a little bit fruity. The thing that intrigues me is this beer is brewed with Brett. Brettanomyces, I think, is the proper pronunciation of it, but this beer is apparently brewed with Brett, which I think probably attributes to the huge head that it has on it. You can see it's been sitting there for a few seconds. That really hasn't gone down that much. One of the things that I noticed about this beer immediately is it's very, very clear. God, I love this glass. I know you can't see this there, but there is literally carbonation just bubbling up from the stem of this glass. It's pretty clear, which I think is along the style. Maybe clearish, it pours a little bit orangey or coppery. That seems to be style for Belgians. That's what you're mostly seeing. I pick up a lot of, like I said, fruity characteristics, malt, kind of saison-y sort of smell to it, which makes me a little bit afraid to taste this because, man, I've talked about it several times. I don't appreciate that style of beer, and I don't know why. It's great. It's done well. Everywhere I've ever been, the Belching Beaver, Mother Earth does a great saison. I'm just not that much into them. So I think that we're in a place where I can actually brave this. Let's see what we get. I told you what it smelled like. 2 ways of tasting. I always tell you that you're going to get different characteristics in different ways you taste. Now, we have a pretty big head on this. And in order to not confuse my palate, I'm still going to try to take the small drink to start out with. It's going to seem a little bit longer on camera because I have to actually get the beer through that head. So let's see. I don't think that thing tastes anything like what it smells like. And I'm picking a little bit of citrusy, kind of at the end of that, you know, as it develops on my palate, I'm getting citrusy in the way that you, maybe orangey or grapefruity is probably, orange or grapefruit, sorry about that, probably the best way to describe that. The beer is actually on the attack phase a little bit spicy. And by spicy, I clearly don't mean like Mexican food spicy. It's just kind of earthy and spicy at first, and then you get a little bit of the aftertaste of the citrus, which I talked once on here about bière de garde. That at the time I didn't know what bière de garde meant because it's not English. But I did find out afterwards. It kind of reminds me of that with the characteristic. I really don't know what to expect from a beer brewed with Brett. This is my first one. Well, I'm sure that I've accidentally let it get in some of my home brews. Maybe not Brett, but it's actually pretty good. Let's try it the other way now. Hopefully drinking it this way doesn't result in the Saison smells and I'm picking up. I don't want to taste that. Some people do. Let's try it. Dagnabbit. Dude, I'm gonna have to agree with everything I read. That beer doesn't smell anything like it tastes to me. On the drinking it like that, I get a little bit more of that earthy spiciness and a little bit less of the orangey finish. Right at the end now, I'm feeling it kind of develop at the back of my palate, sort of a orange rindy kind of flavor. I've talked about it before with the like the white part of an orange peel. I don't know if anybody else has accidentally eaten something like that, but this is a good beer. According to everything I read, that was saying this was one of the best beers of 2012. I have to agree with it. I would give this beer probably a 4.5 out of 5 for sure. Good beer. I like it a lot. Till next time, guys. Keep brewing.